This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News, and for the first time since Birmingham, I'm joined by Eddie Hearn. Yeah.
First time this year?
First time since Birmingham.
Wow. Wow. What's happened to you?
Nothing's happened to me. You've been hiding.
I haven't been hiding, I've been around, you know what I mean? Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. And looking forward to a busy year. Hopefully many more interviews to come.
I hope so too, Eddie. Let's just start off with the reason we're here in Manchester. Catterall Barboza coming face to face for the first time. It's not a fight which people are expecting to catch fire, but it is the last fight you would assume before Jack gets his chance at World Honours. How tricky of an obstacle is this in Arnold Barboza?
I disagree with you, Andy, to be honest with you. I think it's one of the best fights at 140 pounds. You know, Jack, we gave him the Mr. Boring tag. I think he's shown us against Linares, particularly against Josh Taylor, and against Regis Prograis, that he's an exciting fighter, and this is a real fight. You know, this is a fight that's going to determine the interim world champion at 140 pounds, and with Teofimo Lopez, God knows what he's going to do. This may end up being for the full world title, so it's a great fight. It's a great card as well, you know, particularly on that TV element with Belotti Gomez, the rematch, which is going to be interesting in the build-up next week. Pat McCormack against Robbie Davis Jr., you know, one of his first big step-ups. Jazza Dickens against Zelfa Barrett, Connor Tudsbury's debut, William Croller, and much more. So it's a big night, and I think we have to start recognising Jack Catterall as one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in Britain. I mean, if you look at the resume, the fact that he should be undisputed champion anyway, and this could give him the world title, but if it doesn't, it will give him an automatic shot at Teofimo Lopez.
Can I just ask if you've had conversations with Top Rank and with Teofimo about what his current situation is and his plans moving forward?
Not really, because I don't think that line of communication seems to be particularly pleasant anyway. It looked like Teofimo, you know, they approached us about Teofimo against Boots, but obviously we wanted to make the unification fight, of which we got against Stanionis. Then they looked at, I think, the Subriel Matias fight that Teofimo posted the offer on social media, which is always nice. And I don't think that relationship is really active in any form in terms of its communication. So I don't know what he's going to do. I mean, the WBO have made it clear Teofimo must fight the winner of this fight within 120 days or something like that. But we know that there has been, I mean, very, very, very preliminary talks about Teofimo fighting Richardson Hitchens, who is our guy, who is another world champion at 140 pounds. So I have no idea what he's going to do, but what I do know is he's got to hurry up. And we'll see what happens, probably in Riyadh, to be honest with you, in 10 days' time when we get out there. And it all starts kicking off with moves and shakes and deals being made.
Pat Brown's debut opponent has been announced. Talk to me about what you're hoping to see from this first bout.
I'll be honest, like, to debut against a 15-6 guy who has been in with some proper cruiserweights. When this guy drew with Vasil Duka, who we've come over, caused Jordan Thompson all kinds of problems, called Chris Billam-Smith all kinds of problems. This is actually a very, very dangerous fight. But Sam Jones, Nigel, Jamie, they're comfortable with it. And that's one of the pressures of kind of headlining. You know, this is at Altrincham Ice Centre on March 28th. It holds like 3,000. Pat Brown took 2,000 tickets for his first six-rounder. He is already the biggest ticket seller in the country, I think. And he's very, very exciting, and he's very, very good. It's a next-gen show. Also on that card, Cameron Vong against Jordan Flynn. Farn Hill against Mark Dickinson as well. Rhiannon Dixon's back on the card. William Croller, Connor Tudsbury will go again. But you know, that is really the beginning of a fantastic journey for British boxing with Pat Brown. And it's actually a serious fight.
Just away from the reason we're here in Manchester with yourself, Eddie, obviously we have a chance to catch up with Frank Warren earlier today. A lot of talk about Canelo-Crawford falling through now. What can you tell me, your understanding, given your relationships with Turki Al Sheikh, those out in Saudi Arabia as well, and their involvement?
Nothing really. I mean, it was all very sudden, wasn't it? Is it in relation to the Jake-Paul fight? I don't know. I mean, look, Canelo, I'd say all that. Canelo don't care, right? Give him the money and he's going to fight. He doesn't really have... And this isn't a negative towards him, because he makes it clear. He has no loyalty to anyone, right? None to me, none to PBC, none to Turki Al Sheikh. Pay me the money, I will fight whoever you want me to fight. That's basically it. So I guess the talk was a Crawford fight. Now it looks like the Jake Paul fight is done, by all accounts. So does that make the Crawford fight less appealing? Because he's kind of moving into that world now. And I don't blame him, because he's going to make an absolute fortune to punch Jake Paul. And I don't mind the fight, I've got to be honest with you. Like, I've given Jake stick over the years because he's done some things that I didn't like, and I'm just being honest. But you have to respect him for taking the Canelo fight. He's doing that because there's a huge amount of money on the table, but I don't mind seeing it. So yeah, I don't know I've no idea whether it's in relation to that or whatever. I've not had one conversation about it, but certainly, you know, Canelo moving into that world, if you like, changes things perhaps in terms of the nature of Canelo-Crawford. I don't know. I really don't know.
Then if he was to fight somebody like a Jake Paul, does that not increase his own commercial value even further than what it is currently?
Maybe, or maybe some people don't see it like that. I don't know. But not my fight, not my fighters. Just woke up to it this morning like, wow.
Just final one on all of that. Speaking to Frank again, he said the one sticking point might be the weight. I don't suppose you know what weight they'd be looking at for it.
Absolutely no idea. I mean, look, Canelo's 168. What does Jake normally weigh? 200? Does it? Yeah. So they're at 190. Canelo could probably get to 180. Don't matter. I mean, literally, Canelo could be 147 and fight Jake Paul at 220 pounds, and he wouldn't lose.
Eddie Anthony Joshua, what is the latest with him?
Nothing really, to be honest. I mean, Saturday I saw these reports from TalkSport saying Joshua Bacoli signed and agreed. I was like, I had to actually put in a text into a few people and say, do you know anything about this? Like, no. We've not had one conversation with anyone about AJ's next fight. Then I saw we'd signed to fight Wilder. None of it is true. The only thing that is true is he's back in camp, and probably in the next 2 weeks, obviously post Feb 22nd would make sense, we will talk about the Dubois-Parker winner, and we will talk about the other options. Of those two, by the way, Bacoli and Wilder, we don't rule them out at all, but not one discussion yet.
Just very quickly, a couple more. Galal Yafai, what are your plans with Galal Yafai, Eddie?
Looking to return in April. We actually was going to go April 19th in Birmingham, but there was a hold on that from Boxer, and we challenged the hold, but they've confirmed it for, I guess, Whittaker against Cameron, April 19th. So Galal will be out around that date, and he has a mandatory defence of his interim world title against Francisco Rodriguez Jr., which is a very tough fight. Obviously on that card we look to put Conor Walker's defence of his British and Commonwealth title and all other fighters from the area, and incorporate it in a Railway Tavern dinner.
Railway in Eddie. Final one as well. Adam Azim with a message after Saturday night. He had an impressive performance.
The food is so good you completely forget the name.
That's very true, Eddie. Adam Azim versus Lipinets. He had a fantastic performance. Afterwards, called out Dalton. Could it be revisited?
I mean, he called out Dalton, but he used the word that is the most embarrassing word to ever use if you're calling someone out. And can we also visit this word, marinade? It's not marinate, right? It's marinade. Is that right? But I say marinate because that's what everyone says. But someone pointed out on my social media account, it's not marinate, it's marinade. You cannot say, Dalton Smith, are you watching? Yeah, Shane McGuigan cannot say, we beat Dalton Smith, we beat him up, we stop him, but that needs to marinate a little bit. Why does it need to marinate a little bit? We'll fight Dalton Smith, but only if Riyadh sees him come in with massive money. I don't understand. Adam Azim is a brilliant fighter. I thought he looked brilliant the other night. And I've got to tell you, it's a really dangerous fight for Dalton Smith. I just think we win. But you talk a good game. You know, you put your big boy pants on, but you haven't really got the cojones to roll the dice, have you? We have. We're mandatory for the world title. Adam Azim's so far away from fighting for the world title. He won the IBO. He now gets removed from every governing body. So he could win. He could take Dalton Smith's mandatory position. But they just ain't got the balls to roll the dice. And that's what we're there to do. We want to roll the dice. So come do it. Very good fight. Very tough fight. Don't need to marinate it. As I said in my interview yesterday, it's already cooked with seasoning and thyme and sometimes some sweet and sour savoury dressing. So let's just do it. Hate marinating. Why? You know why? Because you got a little bit more commission to take yet, haven't you? So just make the fight.
Cheers, Eddie.